a shout. Do it, never do it. Please don't run about in my house. Please don't talk about it. Do it meal. Please don't tell a lie. Please don't make a lie. Please don't, never do it.
So you've seen my favorite protagonists, but what about my favorite antagonists? Let's admit it, people. For every awesome hero there's always a fantastic villain to back it up. And whether it's ranging from the cruel, to the brutal, to the outright crazy. Regardless, villains always do their best to give you their worst. And we are here to honor them for that. Now, a few rules. Only games I played, only one per franchise, and like last time, I won't include Marvel or DC. And also, there will be some spoilers on this list. So with all that said, let the evil begin! Valadar is one unique villain in my eyes. You may think he's a power-hungry dictator, and you'd be right. However, he is much more than just that. He is very cunning and very sly, which really makes him a mysterious character. Speaking of mysterious, you barely know who this guy is throughout the game, and at some point in the middle of the story, you actually find out that Valadar is the father of the main hero. Who saw this coming? Tell the truth, people! Anyways, Valadar is also very loyal to his master, aka Grima, the main villain, whom I won't spoil the details about. One last thing about Valadar, he led an assassination attempt on Emeryn and was killed at the first half of the game, but then was revived by the midpoint. However, Valadar loses points because 1, his plans haven't been too exciting, and 2, when the final duel with him is cool, I found it to be rather easy. Regardless, when the next Fire Emblem game is released, I hope Valadar comes back. Now, this next one is more than one character. In fact, it's a lot of characters. But they're all in one whole organization. This is Organization 13. When it comes to villainy, these guys are not slouches at all. They can show a villain's role can be done right through their goal. Spoiler alert.
Organization 13's true goal is to divide Xehanort's heart among 13 vessels.
They also go to great lengths to drown Sora and Riku into darkness, and so they could side with them. And more spoilers, with Sora, they actually succeed. But Riku eventually gets him out. But what makes Organization 13 great were their characters recruited. They were all very well made and can put up awesomeness. My personal favorite member is actually Xemnas. Yes, I like him. Sue me. To me, Xemnas was the one I feared the most and became fascinated with. I hope they can put up awesomeness in Kingdom Hearts 3. I was having a tough time deciding whether to put GLaDOS or Wheatley at this spot. While I like Wheatley more as a character, I like GLaDOS more as a villain. Despite being a machine, GLaDOS is an awesome character. Not only is she incredibly entertaining to listen to, but she's a great villain with her clever and amusing insults.
Searching sharks for an upcoming test. Do you know who else murders people who are only trying to help them? Did you guess sharks? Because that's wrong. The correct answer is nobody. Nobody but you is that pointlessly cruel. Here come the test results. You are a horrible person. That's what it says. A horrible person. Remember before when I was talking about smelly garbage standing around being useless? That was a metaphor. I was actually talking about you. And I'm sorry. You didn't react at the time, so I was worried it sailed right over your head, which would have made this apology seem insane. That's why I had to call you garbage a second time just now.
Oh, GLaDOS, you crack me up. Anyways, back on topic. Unlike most villains, she's not out to conquer or destroy anything. All she wants is one person dead. And her ways of doing so are both funny and scary at the exact same time, which also adds to her character. Even being turned into a potato, her character is fleshed out even more. It was revealed that she was based on Caroline, Cave's Johnson's secretary. Wow. There are a lot of villains I like in the Pokemon series. Team Rocket, Team Magma, Team Aqua, Team Plasma, the Pokemon Pinchers, so on and so forth. However, I really think that Team Galactic stands above them all. Why? Well, it's because of what their goal is. You don't really know what their goal is throughout Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. What is it? Money? World domination? Bullying? What? At first, when you look at them, you'll probably think they're a bunch of clowns and just bullies. But later in the game, their evilness really shines, which you can thank their leader for that, Cyrus. Cyrus alone got Team Galactic on the spot. He has no soul, no fear, and no passion for others. And his soulless stare is enough to make you cringe in fear. And because of him, you will eventually figure out Team Galactic's goal, which is to destroy the world and recreate it in their own image. That's freaking scary. And finally, I love battling against these guys, especially when going to the final Cyrus battle in Platinum. Final verdict, Team Galactic goes above and beyond what a villain expectations, and I love him for that. Oh, come on, guys. You knew Bowser would be on here. Bowser is probably the most famous villain in video game history. He's had a lot of memorable moments in many games and is the main villain of the most famous and best-selling franchise in existence. I made that so simple, didn't I? Well, maybe it really isn't. I mean, for his appearance and size, you don't want to mess with this guy. Now, some people believe he's just being used for comic relief. I tend to think otherwise. Also, you need to give credit for his effort. No matter how many times Mario beats him into oblivion, he keeps on coming back to try again, and he's done some crazy things to kidnap the princess and take over the world.
Of course!
Bison, shut your face. Despite not being perfect, I don't think we'll ever see the last of the Koopa family. Now, this next one is a three-way tie between three characters from the exact same game that deserve this spot. It's a three-way tie between the three bosses of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance: Sundowner, Jetstream Samuel, and Steven Armstrong. Oh man, these guys are awesome. First of all, these guys seriously don't fool around. They each have their own factors that make them awesome villains. First, I'll cover Sundowner. At the beginning of the game, Sundowner kidnaps Numani, the African Prime Minister, with intentions of killing him in order to drag Africa into the war. He waited until the proper moment before successfully killing Numani, successfully pulling Africa into war. Now to Sam. Sam didn't really do anything extreme, but at the beginning of Rising, he started the assault to Numani, allowing Sundowner to complete his task. Later in the beginning, he duels Raiden and beats him, cutting off his left eye and his left arm in the process. Now to Armstrong. Being the leader of the group, Armstrong is the one who started the entire war, as you would expect. And his reasons for doing so are actually very interesting. Since SOP and the Patriots were shut down forever, America was about to recede. So he started the war so he could get elected president and put America back to work. Wow, that is really thought out. And X-Men Install 3, their fights are all challenging, and their dialogue in the game is outright memorable.
Let's dance! Like I said, kids are cool, Jack. And I'm very in touch with my inner child. Nanomachine, son.
Bottom line, these guys are the definition of boss mode. Now, all the villains I've showed you thus far were either great or really awesome, but from now on, the villains are literally perfect examples of how bad guys should be done. So, who is our first example of a perfect villain? What can I say about Dr. Nefarious that hasn't already been said? Even after CJ and Logan praised him in their top 10 enemies we love to hate list, and after Newfoundland praised him in his favorite characters list. Yes, he might be another nut, but I love him for that. I really couldn't resist putting him so high. He's insane and hilarious at the exact same time. One thing that really interests me about him is his backstory. He was once a small organic life form himself, but after an accident with Quark in his own base, he was turned into a robot. How a life form got turned into a robot, I will never know. Video game logic. But also, he made a goal to turn everyone else into robots for revenge, and he proves to be formidable in combat regardless if he's a robot or not. He shows what he can really do as a robot, and can really put up a fight, regardless if he's in the bio-obliterate or not. Wow. Nefarious, I love you. Keep up your great works.
That's all for now.
Oh, yes! You knew Ganondorf would be on here. He is an excellent example of villainy in general. He's got great aspects of a sinister lord and a destructive being. That makes sense since he wants nothing more than to steal the Triforce powers for himself and take over Hyrule. However, unlike most villains, he doesn't take it by force. In fact, he plays chess while doing it. It's waiting to see how the pieces play out. That is why, in every Zelda game, Link and Zelda are always cause of his plans working. Along with intelligence, he's got power. Quite literally. With it, he can create his own minions, command dark energy, turn into the monstrous beast Ganon, and the list goes on and on. And finally, since he has the Triforce of Power, he never freaking dies. He always finds a way to come back with and come up with new plans in order to destroy Link and take over the world.
Of course!
Shut up, Bison. Dr. Eggman, above Ganondorf and Bowser. What are you thinking? My list, not yours. Anyways, when I first played Sonic Riders, I barely knew who Eggman was. But when I played more of it, I knew he was going to be an awesome villain. My love grew for him when I played Sonic 06, Sonic Unleashed, Colors, and Generations. He's come up with some of the craziest plans for taking over the world/universe. First off, in Sonic 06, he tried to release Iblis and use his power to rule time. Then, in Unleashed, he uses the Chaos Emeralds for their power to literally break the Earth apart. And in Sonic Colors, he chains together multiple planets to a neon-filled amusement park in which he captures aliens and tries to use their power for a mind control beam that he'd use to control the entire universe. Then, in Generations, he teams up with his past self and uses a time beast to rule time and the world to eliminate Sonic from existence. Tell me someone who's gone that far. Also, I freaking love Eggman's personality. He is completely nuts, and I love hearing his voice.
Want us to get more? No, I want you to get me a cheeseburger and a shake. That'll be easier. Cheeseburgers don't run as fast as them little alien varmints. Idiot, get me more aliens.
And finally, Eggman has made some beautiful creations. Special thanks going to the Egg Dragoon, the Nega Wisp Armor, the Time Eater, and above all, Metal Sonic. And while his fights in the Genesis eyes were pretty lame, and the fights with him in the modern title is much more awesome than that. Final verdict, Eggman is an amazing villain. He has a hilarious personality, his plans are crazy beyond belief, and he's just an epic villain altogether. Like what your maze? What villain can top him? Well, let's recap. Number 10, Valadar. Number 9, Organization 13. Number 8, GLaDOS. Number 7, Team Galactic. Number 6, Bowser. Number 5, The Three Bosses. Number 4, Dr. Nefarious. Number 3, Ganondorf. And number 2, Dr. Eggman.
Now wait just a second.
Huh? Did you hear something?
I said wait just a second.
Got to be hearing things. Hades? Who's Hades? The true master of the underworld.
Sorry to keep you waiting, but now that I'm here, let's get this party started.
Oh, yes! You bet yourself that Hades from Kid Icarus Uprising is my favorite villain. I knew I was gonna love Hades the instant I saw him. After defeating Medusa in Chapter 9 of Kid Icarus Uprising, it is revealed that Hades was actually the main villain. He intentionally had the same plan as Medusa, which was to obliterate all of humankind and take over the world.
Of course, Dr. Octopus.
Thank you, Doctor. I sure needed that. Anyways, when a lot of humans were killed, he would use their souls to create underworld minions. That's actually something that's tough to deal with. Awesome idea, Hades! And while killing every human, he sends his minions to stop Pit at every turn. That makes sense since Pit is trying to stop Hades' plan during the course of the game. Also, I freaking love his personality. When he pops up in a level, I just love it when he speaks.
Freaky aliens give you lemons. Make freaky alien lemonade. Like this.
Hey, look! An exotank!
Hey look, who cares?
Oh man, I could just listen to his lines all day. But I've got to move on against the fight against him. I won't go over it in ridiculous detail, but I will say this. I love this fight so much. Bottom line, Hades is the perfect villain. His plans are tough to stop, his personality is hilarious, and he is a well-made character all around. I'm the Lightning Gripper, thanks for watching, until next time.